Do you feel like you're living in a crazy world? You aren't alone. People have been through insane stuff for millions of years. Let's go back 4.7 million years ago to see what life was like. You are watching this channel. And today, we're answering the extraordinary question: how did prehistoric humans survive? Humans have been around for over 2 million years, but for most of that time, they were just another common species. They didn't even start walking upright until about 6 million years ago, which is not that long before dinosaurs went extinct. These early ancestors of modern humans had to survive ice ages, changing climates, and massive natural disasters. But they stuck it out, and we're here because of it. So how exactly did they do it? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's go back in time. If you could travel back 4.7 million years ago, you wouldn't be entering an alien world. You'd be landing in Africa. It's still there. You can visit at any time. You just won't be able to find any Starbucks or cell phone towers. The continent has changed a lot since then, but it's still recognizable. There are mountains, deserts, and jungles. The climate is warm, but there are also cold snaps. Just think of it as Africa in January. That's pretty much how the whole world works these days. The Earth has its seasons. But 4.7 million years ago, the seasons were more extreme. During the summer, temperatures soared into the 90s, but winters saw temperatures drop into the 30s. This made food scarce and water hard to find, forcing animals to migrate long distances to find both. That meant that any species hoping to survive had to be ready to move from place to place. But humans weren't built for running marathons. In fact, early humans couldn't run at all. They were apes. Most of their time was spent climbing trees and eating fruit. In other words, they were great at exploiting the food available to them where they lived, but they couldn't search out new areas when things got tough. So why are we talking about them like they were marathoners? Well, it turns out our ape-like ancestors developed a new trait: walking upright on two legs. At first, scientists thought this happened because early humans needed to see over tall grasses to spot predators. But that theory doesn't hold up since there were no big cats around at the time. Other scientists believed it was all about running. Since early humans didn't have natural weapons like claws and fangs, they would have been easy prey for predators. The ability to run fast and long distances would have helped them escape danger. Not only that, but having opposable thumbs would have made it easy for them to grab sticks and rocks and use them as tools. This would have made them better hunters and overall survivors. And according to National Geographic, human beings are the only primates that hunt other animals for food, meaning we probably relied on catching prey more than any other food source. That means running would have been essential. But you don't need to run to survive. Early humans also had to know how to fight. Scientists believe that the development of the throwing mechanism was crucial for survival. This allowed early humans to take down large prey, throw rocks at predators, and defend themselves with spears. To learn this skill, it's believed that they watched other animals. After all, humans weren't the only ones hunting back then. Hyenas, wild dogs, and even crocodiles hunted in groups, communicated with each other, and used simple tools like rocks and bones to catch their prey. For example, National Geographic reports that crocodiles would use sticks to lure birds close enough so they could snatch them. This behavior seems similar to the way early humans would use spears to catch their prey. So it's possible that early humans developed the throwing mechanism by observing other animals. This might have given them the edge they needed to survive. But even if early humans could run fast, fight well, and throw spears, that doesn't mean they would have survived. After all, there were many other animal species who could do the same things. Humans needed something else, something that set them apart from the rest of the pack. Researchers peg this as adaptability. Humans aren't the biggest, strongest, or fastest animals. We're kind of in the middle when it comes to size and speed. But we're extremely adaptable. And this adaptability may be thanks to our huge brains. Today, human brains are 3 times larger than those of chimpanzees, our closest relatives. According to Smithsonian Magazine, our big brains probably evolved over a long period of time, allowing us to plan ahead, make tools, and work together. Having such big brains likely took a lot of energy, though, meaning early humans needed lots of calories to survive. That pushed them to hunt more, which led to more sophisticated tools, weapons, and techniques. Their success at hunting also meant that humans could settle in one area instead of migrating all the time. This gave them more time to focus on creating things rather than surviving. Of course, inventing things isn't easy. Creating new objects takes time, patience, and planning. That's why some researchers believe that early humans probably had to develop the ability to delay gratification in order to survive. That basically means waiting for a reward instead of picking the first option, which sounds simple. But for an animal who spends most of its day looking for food, this must have been difficult. One study published in the journal PNAS tested whether chimpanzees would choose a small reward now or a larger reward later. In most cases, chimps picked the smaller reward. However, when the researchers stressed the chimps by withholding food and keeping their enclosure messy, they were more willing to wait for the bigger reward. This suggests that if early humans were constantly stressed by threats to their survival, they would be more likely to consider long-term goals. According to lead author Nathan J. Dominy, humans appear to have evolved the ability to delay gratification as a way to adapt to a changing environment. This trait probably helped them survive all the disasters that came their way. And boy, were there a lot of disasters. For the first half of human history, the Earth was a dangerous place. Over the past 4.7 million years, humans have experienced asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, droughts, and floods. It's almost a miracle they're still here. But let's see if we can spot any patterns. Humans may have been able to survive the asteroid impact that killed off the dinosaurs because it wasn't on land. The rock came from space, crashing into Earth's atmosphere and oceans. That caused massive earthquakes, destroyed coastal habitats, and triggered giant tsunami waves. But experts say most of the damage was done by debris hitting the atmosphere and blocking the sun. That caused global temperatures to plummet, leading to an ice age. Asteroid impacts are bad enough on their own, but according to USA Today, there's often a second hit after the first rock hits the planet. That means there's a chance the same asteroid broke apart and sent smaller rocks hurtling toward the Earth. A series of impacts would have made survival even more difficult. Luckily, our ancestors were already great at fighting and hunting, so they probably had the skills necessary to survive. Volcanic eruptions are another matter entirely. Ash and gas can wipe out nearby habitats and block the sun. They can also cause global climate change, making it harder for plants to grow and animals to survive. What makes volcanoes worse than asteroids is that they can happen repeatedly. Some eruptions can last for months or even years, so humans would have had to cope with sudden climate changes and dwindling food supplies. For example, in Indonesia, Mount Toba erupted 74,000 years ago, sending 2,800 cubic kilometers of ash and rock into the atmosphere. That's about 300 times larger than the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. Scientists say the explosion was so large, it blocked sunlight and caused an ice age. According to Live Science, human populations dropped from 10,000 to 400. It was so bad that some geneticists say every human alive today can trace their ancestry back to a single couple who survived the eruption. That means our species might have ended right there. But luckily, humans were able to survive and thrive once again. Humans have been through a lot, but they've survived it all, and they're still going strong. Now it's your turn. Which prehistoric disaster do you think would be the hardest to survive? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this video, to subscribe for more journeys through time.